Hey everybody, this is gonna be a little choppier, a little less put together than the videos I usually like to do. So I had a loss this weekend. I had a loss this weekend. An aunt that I love dearly passed away. And aside from being like a second mom to me, this aunt was somebody who like respected the work that I do and like supported it. Like, I mean, in real talk, she was an old lady from Guyana. She doesn't know anything about polyamory, you know. But she loves me and respects me, so she loved and respected my work. You know, she bought copies of my books. I'm sure she hasn't read it, and I'm sure she hadn't read any of them. You know, but she was always like, she was always really supportive of the work I did. When my wife and I were on the Tamron Hall show earlier this year, she called me to tell me how nice we looked on the show and everything like that. So the loss was significant for me. That's not why I'm making this video though. After the funeral, I got some time driving my parents back home, and my mom said something. My mom gave me this sort of, like, have you ever thought about being a teacher, Kevin? Have you ever thought about being a businessman? Like this sort of passive aggressive suggestion of a career change. Um, and in my head, I'm like, well, I've already got two careers. Like I've got my muggle job, and I've got like my actual like my the thing that I do, my activism, my polyamory stuff that like really fills my cup. Um, and at some point, like my dad was sort of giving me this sort of passive aggressive admonishment about how I spend my money, and I'm like, you don't know how I spend my money. You don't know how I spend my money. You don't know what I use my money for. Like, you never asked me any of these questions. You never taught me anything about responsible saving or responsible spending. But now you're admonishing me about I guess being irresponsible with my money when you don't even know if I am being irresponsible with my money. Like, spoiler alert, I'm actually pretty decent with my money. Like, I'm not the best, but I'm actually pretty good with my money. Um, and it turned into like a series of arguments between the three of us. Um, and it gets really frustrating for me because like my mom is an academic. My mom's an academic. And a lot of like my childhood vacations growing up were like going to nursing conferences with my parents, where my mom would go to all these conferences all over the country, which is what I do, you know. And like my mom wrote a book, which is what I do. And my mom is well respected in her field, and she travels to educate people about what she does, and which is what I do. So it's been this really frustrating pattern of understanding that I'm doing all the things my mom would do, and knowing that these are things that she really values, just not out of me because of the field that I'm doing it, because I'm doing it in polyamory and not nursing, because my business is me as a brand, doing like relationship coaching and writing books about polyamory, increasing representation, and working for community upliftment, because those are what I work on. My mom doesn't really value those, even though she values the method by which I deliver all these things. So it turned into like a lot of arguments, and like I felt really crappy about the day and the weekend as a result. And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, as much as I want like my parents' approval as a kid, as their kid, I'm 40, I'm 41, but like as much as I want their approval, that actually goes against the work that I do, and like the work that I do isn't for outsider approval. It's not me trying to get validation from people who don't understand what I'm doing. You know, the work I do is for y'all. The work I do is for myself. I spent a couple of years, it felt like I spent like a couple of years being one of the very few black folks who would show up regularly in Philadelphia area polyamory events. You know, I can't say that now. Like, if I went to a Philadelphia area, I mean, pandemic willing, if I went to a Philadelphia area polyamory event, there'd be several black people. If I hosted an event, there'd be tons of black people, you know? So I'm not doing that for my parents. I'm not doing that for anybody who's outside. I'm not doing this work for people who don't understand it. I'm not doing this work for people who don't need it. And like it was just like it was just something that sort of hit me really hard, and I felt like that was something that needed to be discussed, because like part of what I say in Love's Not Colorblind, part of what I talk about in my workshops is we have this range now. We have this ability, like you might be watching this on YouTube. You might be watching this through Patreon. This might be something that I chop up and put on Instagram. I mean, I don't know yet. But we all have this range, this worldwide unlimited range through ways of like whatever smartphone or laptop or whatever access we have. We can all go out there and put out our stories for the people who need to hear them. Like me being black and polyamorous, that resonates with black polyamorous people. If I post up something from somebody who's trans and polyamorous, if I post something from somebody who's a polyamorous woman, who's able-bodied or disabled or whatever it is, that story, that people reflecting their truth, people expressing their truth in their polyamorous experience, that's going to resonate with the people who need it. Not just people who are on the outside looking in who don't know what you're talking about. And as difficult as it is for me to not like to not have parents who are like proud of like the amount of work that I do, or proud of the kind of impact that I've had over like the last 5 or so years, it was never for them. Oh no, and now I'm thinking about Thor Ragnarok and Thor the Dark World, like I'll tell Odin, I didn't do it for him. I didn't do it for my parents. And I need to keep that in perspective, because that's how if I had kept that in perspective a couple of days ago, what was a really difficult journey with my folks and a really hard weekend after that might have lightened up better. And if like that's my story, then it might be the story that someone else needs to hear as well, which is the whole purpose of the work that I do. So hopefully this gives you some perspective, like I need a perspective, and hopefully this helps like it's helping me right now. So thanks.